All right. This is an order from Ken's Fish. We got a whole bunch of different foods. I'm trying out as well as some safe. I'm trying the new foods. I used to feed Northfin, but as of recently, my wild type bettas haven't been eating it. Um, the new package I got, they haven't been. I got it once and they ate it with like a lot of gusto. And then I got a new package, and they kind of ate it, but not really. And then as it started getting a little bit older, and I don't keep my foods for over like 6 months, and they're refrigerated / frozen the whole time. But as it started to kind of get older, they kind of stopped eating it entirely. And anyways, I'm through with that food now. I finished all I had. I just fed the wild type bettas other stuff in the meantime. And I fed other stuff that food. I like to have a food that I can't feed everything, and then I give special treatment to some fish as needed. So got a whole bunch of different, I think like 4 or 5, something like that, different Ken's fish foods to try. Just kind of, I wanted like a 0.5 millimeter pellet, but I think I got some that are 1.5 millimeters just because the wild type bettas can eat it. But I might have to use something for something else. And if they really like that, they can have that, I guess. But yeah, figured it's Ken Fish. These are all the Ken Fish branded foods. I figured if I'm looking for a new food, I might as well start with this cheap stuff, right? That's my thought process. And I just got the smallest quantity of most of them, I think. I think one I got a pound. The big stuff. All right. I got some rigid airline tubing as well. I kind of forgot. I'm surprised that stuff drains so well, to be honest. It kind of bends back. Got 8 of those. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. This is very dusty. I got the krill pellet, the big ones, and they come with a fish meal, krill meal, fish oil, wheat, hake, whey powder, gelatin, and then we're on to the vitamin pack. But I don't have any big fish, but I like to feed a larger pellet like this to Corridoras. And I figured Corridoras weren't too picky, so I got a pound. So the other half, they come in 2 half-pound bags. That's kind of nice. I had to reach the $50 for free shipping, right? So figured I'd get the stuff. And I got a thing of golden pearls, the 200 or 300 micron one. This is about the same micron as the co-op dry food, so figured I'd try that out. Yeah, high quality fish meal, okay, crustacean meal, purified fish oils, thiosulfids, axanthins, vitamins, protein, minerals, antibiotics, and amino stimulants. Okay. But I figured I'd give them. The co-op food's way too expensive for me to feed, and figured I'd try some golden pearls. Because I like kind of feeding a smaller thing. I found it helps the fish breed a little bit. Just some safe here. I'm on my auto water change now. Almost. I need to do the fill, and I should have that done pretty darn soon. But, it's good to have some dechlorinator on hand. Plus, that was what kicked me over the edge. I got all the foods I thought would be good from the Ken's line. And, yeah. All right, this is the krill premium. The Ken's premium krill pellets, 1.5 millimeter. This is the smallest millimeter it comes in. Wish it came in smaller. Let's see. fish meal, krill meal, fish oil, wheat gluten, wheat flour, hydrolyzed hake, dry whey powder, porcelain gelatin, and then a vitamin pack. Then we got the Bella pellets, 1 millimeter. I like a 1 millimeter pellet. If it's actually a 1 millimeter, I think that's my favorite size. But a lot of the half a millimeter pellets end up being like 1 if you actually measure. Fish meal, fish oil, wheat flour, krill meal, wheat gluten meal, amino, another vitamin pack. Then I got the Ken's Ultimate Shrimp, Catfish, and Pleco pellets. These things were fairly expensive. I think they were about fairly expensive for Ken's, right? I think they were a dollar, a little over $1 an ounce. I believe these were 1 millimeter. Oh. They're a stick. They're a 1 millimeter stick. I thought they would be a pellet with the word pellet. All right. Tricky, tricky. So that's good to know. Sticks, not pellets, not round pellets. Let's make sure these other things are round pellets. Yes, round pellet. See, that's big. That's bigger than a millimeter. I mean, look at that stuff. That's big. It's like 1.5. Hopefully this is also like 1.5. Yeah, these are a little bit bigger too. These are also more stick-like than pellet-like. It's good to know. So they're not round there. Are these round? No, these are also a stick. They're just a smaller stick. Okay. The Catfish Ultimate Crep has squid meal, krill meal, wheat gluten, algae, fish oil, lichen, aslax or something, and then it just says as well as other minerals. So mineral pack. This is Ken's Tropical Bits. These are like bits. It's like a nice crumble. There's some really pretty darn big chunks in there, but then there's also some really small ones. I kind of like a nice crumble like this sometimes. It's terrible for my auto feeders, so I definitely won't use it for those because it doesn't. This will not work with auto feeders. It's way too inconsistent. You need something real consistent for auto feeders. But if you're just feeding a tank manually, it's kind of nice to have some bigger chunks for the bigger guys in the tank and some smaller bits for the smaller guys, especially if it's like a big community tank. This is squid meal, shrimp meal, soybean meal, wheat flour, yeast, and calcium proamate, propon. I could work all day on that. Rice bran, proteinized enzyme, fancy word, garlic brine shrimp, and looks like a vitamin pack. So that's the bits. I will say I was hoping the pellets would be a nice round pellet, like a pellet, but they aren't. I guess that's okay. They're not. They're at least they're a consistent size, so they should work in the auto feeders. Some of these might be a little bit iffy, like this guy here. This one might be a little bit inconsistent in auto feeders, but it is a fairly inconsistent size. You know what I mean? But for auto feeders, you really want round pellets, and that's what I use most. That's what I want this for. I want this for auto feeders, and I feed other foods and live foods and all that throughout whenever I feel like it. But I like to have all my fish on an auto feeder so they at least get that whenever I get busy and all that type of stuff.